Alright guys, if you're watching this video, then you must suspect that your child has autism. So I'm just gonna walk you through a couple things that you should be doing and a couple of the signs and symptoms you should be watching out for. To start off, I just want to make sure that everyone knows that autism is a spectrum. It's not a one and done type thing. All kids are different, all kids show different signs, and you really never know what you're going to get. The most common signs that you do see in children that have autism are a speech delay, motor skill delay, and cognitive learning dysfunctions. So a lot of times the speech delay will just be like a comparative. So kids are supposed to say this many words by this age, and if they haven't reached that, then a lot of times you can suspect that they have autism. As far as motor skills go, I'm talking about walking, crawling. If they're not meeting those goals at the ages, then you want to start thinking about autism as well, especially if these two are together in one. Another thing with the learning and cognitive delays, things like learning how to play with toys. If they can't grasp those concepts, like if you put the coin in, it sings. If they're not really grasping that and instead are playing with little small pieces of it instead, which we call like inappropriate play, then a lot of times that'll also be a sign that they may have autism. The most common sign that we see a lot of people talk about is eye contact. So if they're not making a lot of eye contact, if they're not answering their name, stuff like that can also point towards autism. I have a clip of Nori when she was a baby, and she was just ignoring the shit out of me. Now I will say, like, sometimes they do look at you, and Nori looked at me at first, but she didn't stay looking at me, and she did not go back to me at all. And a lot of times that's kind of how I felt she did with me. Sometimes she would look at me and then sometimes she wouldn't, but most of the time she would not look at me when I said her name. And I think that is the most important part to grasp, is that they may look at you by happen chance, but that doesn't mean that they answered to your name. So sometimes she did look at me, but most of the time she did not.
Minori, can you say yay? Can you do the yay? Nor. Nor. Hey. Hey, Minori. Hey, Minori. Hey, Minori. Hey, Minori. Hi. Nori. Nor. Really? Hey, Nor. Hey. Hey, Minori. Hey, Minori. Oh, don't fall down.
Know that you just saw the cutest baby ever. She's so cute. Anyways, so those are things that would make me as a parent think, you know, maybe we should go in. So what should you do now that you suspect it? Where do you go from here? It's really hard to figure out what should we do. Okay, so the first thing that you should do is look at your local programs. So every state has a type of early intervention program. So just look on your government website or Google, you know, early intervention program. In Kentucky, I can tell you that the early intervention program here is called First Steps. They can get in as early as a year old. Nori was 14 months when we enrolled. What that program does is they assess the child for any deficits, and then they give therapy in home. So Nori qualified for occupational and speech therapy every week, and she would do that until she was 3. Now they age out of these programs usually at 3 years old because they transfer them into the public school system as a preschooler. So a lot of times when you go to preschool, there's a 3-year-old program. Those 3-year-olds are actually coming from these early intervention state-funded programs. So that's how Nori went into the school system at 3, was through that program. Now, on top of getting into an early intervention program, which I really think is important to get therapy early, you should be getting on wait lists for diagnosing. So go into your doctor's office and ask for a referral to several different places in your area. So for me, I live outside of Lexington, I asked for referrals to the University of Kentucky and to Cincinnati Children's, and we got into Cincinnati Children's, and that's where she was diagnosed. The only reason I say this is because both of them had a year wait list, but Cincinnati had a cancellation. That's how I got in. I think it was after 3 or 4 months, and she was diagnosed at age 3, officially with a medical diagnosis. That really helped just kind of solidify everything. I knew she had autism before we went in there, but it kind of just solidified it in my mind. Along with getting a diagnosis, once you have that medical diagnosis, you can start applying for a Medicaid waiver. What a Medicaid waiver program does is they just give you extra money, extra funding to help support your child with their medical needs. As far as autism goes, like I said, it's a spectrum. So some kids are continent and can use the bathroom, and then some kids need like diapers for the rest of their life. So there's a lot of things that are coming out of your pocket that you might want covered, and the Medicaid waiver does help with that. And it also does help with other things like respite care, specialty beds, specialty just equipment that they'll need. So it's really a good idea to start early and just get onto that Medicaid waiver program. Most of them are waitlisted. I know in Kentucky that we are waitlisted for at least a year out. And if you did all that, you're a badass mama. You were doing it. We're doing it. We got this. Once we get all 3 of those things done, we can chill for a little bit. Once they hit the school system, though, you can get outside therapy. So once Nori hit preschool, that is when we started looking for outpatient speech and OT, and she got in somewhere outside of the school. So she had school, and she also had therapy, once a week. So, and we've done that almost her whole life. So she's been in therapy since 14 months old, that poor thing. But once you have all that done, you're golden. You're doing it. And I just want to say, dealing with a diagnosis of autism, people don't understand that you grieve, and a lot of people get guilt over this. I just want to be the first one, or second or third one, to tell you that it's perfectly normal. Everything's up in the air. Like, we don't know what they're going to be able to do and what they're not going to be able to do. We don't know how much they're going to regress or how much they're going to progress. We have no idea what is going on, and our child's future is now up in the air. We were expecting to have a kid who could grow up and get old and take care of themselves, and now we're worried, like, what's going to happen if I'm not there? And it is okay to grieve that and to really worry and go through the stages just like any other parent does. We all go through it. And I feel like there's been a lot of shaming in the autism community about accepting autism, and we all accept it. We accept our kids. Like, that's never been a question. But when you talk about being sad and grieving their autism, people just get mad. I don't understand it. Like, you can grieve. There's a reason to grieve. And it brings me to this saying that I really do love, and it's, I wouldn't change you for the world, but I would change the world for you. And that's kind of how I feel about my kids' autism. I accept them. I love them the way they are. But did I want them to have to work this hard in the world? No. Did I want them to struggle with these simple little tasks? No. Did I want my daughter to freak out every time someone says BYE? No. But do they? Yes. And it's sad. And it's things I didn't want them to struggle with. So be sad if you want to be sad. And fuck everyone else. Anyways, that was my TED Talk for today. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or anything you want to hear about, especially if it has to do with autism, because I am a plethora of information, just go ahead and put it in the comments, and I will try to answer your questions. And if you have any ideas or videos that you want me to do, just put it in the comments. And I'll see you next time. Just subscribe, like. I'll see you next time.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good